Yo! Video games.
Let's talk Zelda. So,
Linkle.
a long ways back, I made a video, and you can find it if you search the videos on YoVideogames. Basically saying, hey, does Link's gender really matter? Because basically what it happened to just sort of bring everything back to today's news. It started with the very first reveal of Zelda on Wii U, and then in an interview with IGN, Anuma said, "Oh, are you sure that was Link in the trailer?" And then the next day, he basically said, "No, I was just kidding around." Or it was either that, or he said, "Are you sure that that was a guy in the trailer, kind of thing?" And then they're like, "Oh, it wasn't?" No, yes. And then he came back literally the next day and just said, "No, I was just playing around. I was just teasing." And I always kind of was suspicious, and I was like, I think bullshit. I think he's gauging interest. That was my takeaway from it.
Or he meant it, and then someone higher up than him was a little bit pissed, and so he's like, it was just a joke, man.
Yeah. And then of course, they fast forward a year or so later.
What's up, Kawari?
Hyrule Warriors comes out, and there's an art book for it, and in the art, there's a female Link design that didn't get used in the game, and people were kind of like, oh, I kind of like that. Why do they do that? And so then when they do DLC later, they decide to redo the character or put the character back in, and they decide, hey, let's develop the character. People really responded well to the artwork, and then they name her Linkle for some reason, which is
the dumbest thing.
It's kind of an absurd, it's funny for
Link is unisex
for a company
already.
like Nintendo that's so willing and able to make changes to their localization. They just willingly went along with this one. Just that's fine.
Yeah, all right.
It's okay.
Linkle,
whatever.
Sounds like Dingleberry for
right.
some reason. It just reminds me of that.
And
did you have a nice shit? A couple of Linkles hanging on.
A couple Linkles,
just a few.
Linkleberries.
Linkleberries.
A Linkle to me is more like when
a logette.
No.
You drop a big deuce log and then there's just a little bit.
No.
Like a poo pellet.
No, not at all.
Like rabbit. Poop?
No. Linkle is
like a baby Gorm.
Is like when you're finishing a good piss, and there's that little extra dripping off the end, it's,
where you shake really hard and it hits you in the face.
Oh well, I mean, it hasn't hit me in the face because it's so big it goes right over my head. But when
mine's just a little bit shorter, just slaps me in the face.
But that little bit where you kind of get the last bit out, or shake it off, the little drips of the faucet left,
Linkles.
Yeah.
Linkles.
The reason you lift the toilet seat up. Yeah.
So I mean, my face is blue. It's because it's right in front of this blue LED light right here.
I guess I could do something about that, but
I don't give a shit. So that's what a Linkle is. But enough about that. No, toilet humor and all that. So now, one of the longest standing rumors besides Link being a girl, and I made a whole video about this, and my takeaway's always been it doesn't fucking matter. Link is Link.
I feel like we talked about this one time in the gym. We had a very long discussion that went for it made our workout 2 hours, and at the end of it, we still came to the conclusion, why the fuck does it matter?
It doesn't matter. That's always been my opinion on the
Well,
issue.
he already wears unisex clothing. He already has a unisex
Yeah, and in lore-wise, there's literally 10 or 12 Links throughout the timeline, so who fucking cares?
Yeah.
If you do, you're weird, I think. So, but, and then the other rumor was, and this rumor's been around for fucking ever, and Nintendo's so bad because it's sometimes when they get all obstinate and silent and they're we're not gonna talk about it, it becomes this issue where we know exactly what you're gonna do. Not because, there's all these rumors leaking, but just because it's so fucking obvious, and the only thing stopping is you just admitting it. And that is that Zelda Wii U is gonna be on the NX. Now, this was the exact same situation back when the GameCube...
They still haven't technically admitted it?
No. So GameCube, era was finishing out. GameCube was dead, pretty much. And Zelda got delayed massively, and so everyone just said, well, it's also obviously it's going to be on Revolution. It's obviously going to be... Yeah. Reggie flat out fucking lies to Jeff Keighley's face in a TV interview. Which, again, I want to point out that, yes, Nintendo has, can, and will lie straight to your face publicly, when they don't want to announce something. So you can look up that interview with Jeff Keighley. I forget the name. It wasn't Bonus Round. I don't remember. Whatever the fuck it was called. It was a TV show. It's from February 2006. It's the episode where he's go-karting with Reggie and Jeff are go-karting. And Jeff asked him straight up, like, everyone's saying it's being delayed. He's like, he says it's coming out in the fall. It's like people saying, we're delaying it. We're gonna put it on Revolution and stuff. And let me tell you, that's not true. It's gonna be on GameCube. It's gonna be out in the fall.
Now, do you think at that moment,
his exact words?
Do you think at that moment he thought that, and then he went back home and someone was like, yeah, actually, and he was like, fuck.
No, because a couple months later they announced, yes, it's gonna be on the Wii.
Oh wow. I always wondered something about it. Why do you think they call him Reggie, instead of his full name?
Reginald?
No, I mean, everyone calls him by his first name. It's just it's a mononym almost. You could just be like Reggie, and people know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But, not his full name, not his last name or anything like that.
Fils-Ami?
Yeah, it's just it's kind of
because it's fucking French or something, and no one knows how to pronounce it.
Fair enough.
I mean, have you seen how it's written out? It looks like Phil's Amy. His name looks like Reggie Phil's-Amy, but it's Fils-Ami. Whatever. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's French.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds French to me. But okay, so here's the thing. Wii U's dead. It's deader than the GameCube ever was. It's obviously going to be replaced this year. Everyone fucking knows it. And
they've definitely confirmed that.
In nearly 2 years, we have seen about, give or take, 20 seconds of footage from Zelda. It is not a game it's had far less visual footage shown for that game than Twilight Princess ever did. Now there was that long off-screen video of Anuma playing it with Miyamoto watching, and I think that was a couple minutes long, but it was just raw gameplay, and it was super fucking beta, an actual beta,
super fucking beta,
like what an actual beta looks like where there's textures aren't even in place and shit.
It's not even a vertical slice.
No, it's not even a vertical slice at all. It's clearly not done. And even while he's playing and Miyamoto's looking, I'm like, you sure you're gonna have this ready by next year? And he's like, yes, we will. No, they won't. 3 months later, he says, no, we won't.
Reggie Joe Jam Shabadoo.
So bringing that all up to today, Emily Rogers, who's a long time rumor leaker for Nintendo stuff, who apparently decided was going to just get out of that whole game, but then too many people were copying her or mimicking her or, falsely claiming to be her and spreading their own rumors. So she basically had to come back and remaking a new official Twitter and all that, just so she could be like, I'm the real Emily Rogers. So basically just stop people from using her name to spread false rumors, because she's pretty good at her rumors. A lot, not 100%, but she's very good at the rumor mill and basically leaking Nintendo info. So she had 3 rumor updates.
Where did she work that she had access? Is she HR?
You know what? I forget, but she definitely has. She still has connections somehow.
And how has she not gotten in trouble for it?
Well, I think Emily Rogers is a pseudonym.
Okay.
But whatever. The point is she's right a lot of the time. And so she had 3 rumor updates today.
What's up, Crownless King?
First rumor was that she said Wii U and NX Zelda is definitely happening. And that's kind of duh. Really duh. And she said, I've had multiple sources, because she was saying that, she had many multiple sources have confirmed all these 3 rumors to her. So it's okay, that's duh. Number 2 was the one that most people are talking about, which is the game will let you choose to be a male or female character.
Cool.
Which to me, awesome. That's cool, and something we've all kind of somewhat suspected.
How much do you think they're going to change between the male or female Link?
I don't think. Okay, well,
someone was saying are they going to use the sword differently?
No, here's my honest gut is that it's not going to be much different.
It's just going to be.
It's like the beginning of the game. Name your character, name your horse, male or female. Good to go. I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be hardly any changes. I think it's just going to be almost purely cosmetic. Because remember, Link doesn't fucking talk. You know?
I don't see why it would matter.
The animations might be slightly different for reactions.
I think we talked about this before, but are you in the camp that they should have voice acting in?
Well, that's rumor number 3.
So they're going to have voice acting?
The game will be voice acted.
Oh, okay.
But Link won't talk. Duh. Again, duh. So to me, that was kind of the more interesting one, because to me it's holy shit, guys, Nintendo has reached the late 90s of game design. Oh, well, that's crazy. So yeah, the game's going to be apparently voice acted. Link still won't have any dialogue, which Link never has dialogue, and there's no. And this always frustrated me when people would ask this question to like Enuma, and he was just like, I don't know if I want Link to have a voice. I have to say, like that wasn't the question. Fuck! The question was always voice act. Like, no one ever sat there and said, will you please give Link dialogue and a voice? It was always, will this game have voice acting, like, you know, instead of just the text dialogue? Which basically everyone was saying, like, we're not asking if Link can talk. We're asking if you can just voice act the fucking game. They already animate their mouths
Talking
moving and shit.
yeah.
Like, just put a fucking voice there and have the option to turn it off if you don't want it. It's not fucking hard.
It makes me wonder, though, if it would make the game... I mean, if it'd make the game significantly more expensive, you know? Think about, like, if one voice actor...
Well, yeah, but the
being
thing is,
key to the...
yeah, but it's an expensive game. Anyways, and here's the other thing about the voice acting is that I think Nintendo is going to basically spend a lot of money on this one. I'm a little afraid because I have a feeling it's going to go, like, super celebrity, which sucks. Because it's like, fuck, that's kind of lame. Not lame, but just I have a feeling it's gonna, like, it'll be very well done, but I think they're gonna go all out. They're gonna get, like, you know, some names to do it. It's not gonna be like Troy Baker voices everyone. Well, Troy Baker will probably still be in there somewhere, but you know, I think they're gonna have like major.
If they
voice
did
actors.
give Link a voice, who would you want to be the voice?
I don't want Link to have a voice. And Link
But I'm saying if they
Link's
were
not
going
gonna
to
have. Why would he need a voice?
I'm not saying it needs it.
Cam Clark.
You want Cam Clark to
Yes.
be the voice. H. John Benjamin. Time for Linkle.
So I am actually kind of excited
Probably
about
the actual
but
languages
yeah,
if they're going to go through with voice acting.
What?
Someone asked if it's going to be like actual languages or fake languages.
Well, they just said voice acting, and that probably means
real
English,
yeah.
and Japanese in Japan, of course. Like I said, I think they're gonna probably pay for a lot. There's a moment I just had where I was like, man, this is cool, but it sucks. But it's like Robin Williams would have loved to have been a voice in this game, and if they were going celebrity with it, they probably would have hired him had he still been with us. But I feel there is a way they can make this right
by having his daughter.
Zelda Williams should voice Zelda, and she is a voice actress.
Yeah,
she is a voice actress. She's done female voices. I think the coolest fucking thing NOA can do would be to have Zelda Williams, who is a voice actress, say, "Will you voice Zelda? Be the real Zelda." She was named after the game character, so. To me, it's like, okay, this seems like such a good idea. This
would be really fucking cool.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do that.
Well, you know, something I would like to bring up again is that at the time when Robin Williams passed, there was a sort of petition to say, hey, you should make an NPC in the game, you know, based on Robin Williams. Like, wow, World of Warcraft did that. And Nintendo was like, it's a little too early to really talk about this. And I was like, fair enough. You know, because he was like dead within like, you know, that was like a week or two after he died. But I'm like, you know, honestly, they should just, it wouldn't be hard to have just some NPC somewhere looking at, you know, look and be called Robin somewhere. I think that would be a really cool nod. They've used Robin Williams in commercials for Ocarina of Time 3D. So.
Oh, okay. So they have kind of a relationship with him, at least a little.
Yeah, bit. Zelda and Robin Williams were both in the commercials for Ocarina of Time 3D. So, I mean, I think it'd be a really good idea. If Ganondorf's going to be in this game, we can maybe get my dream of having T.C. Carson be Ganondorf.
T.C. Carson. What's another voice that he did?
Kratos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see why you like him.
Yeah, I think just a little less snarly and more regal version of Kratos, and I would be fucking gold. That would be the most fun thing ever. I mean, I want to voice Ganondorf, but I'd have to obviously pitch my tone, like I'd have to modulate the voice a little bit. But you know, that would be kind of like a dream gig right there, just to voice Ganondorf.
How do you audition for voice acting? Isn't that something kind of you've always wanted to do?
I wouldn't mind doing it, but I've never actually put any of the ever looked into it. Put any like.
You have to do a lot of like voice work. I know that. I remember
the
whole thing.
You gotta have demo tapes, and there are like casting calls for it and stuff like that. And,
yeah, you have to get an agent and stuff, but you also have to go to like voice tutoring, voice acting.
They tell you that, like, honestly, like, yeah, for voice acting, like, you should take acting classes. You really should take acting classes.
Yeah, but they also say you should take like singing class, like voice
yes.
work.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy. Keith David is Ganondorf. I mean,
not
I
bad.
dig it. I would dig.
Not bad. He's. I almost feel he's a little too iconic now. Yeah. So, as someone just pointed out, a really great choice would be Bo Billingsley. He would be fantastic, actually, as Ganondorf. He'd actually do a really damn good job.
Bo Billingsley.
Yeah, that's a really good choice, actually. I would be totally down with that. So, I mean, we could sit here and talk about all night about casting, wishes for for Zelda Ghost. So here's my thing was, I'm going to say, T.C. Carson for Ganondorf, maybe Bo Billingsley. I'm very down with that idea. I'm going to say Zelda Williams for Zelda, and not just because her name's Zelda, because she's a good voice actress, and she could do it.
And it'd be a nice nod.
Yes. But who would you cast for Zelda games? Like, and then we have to think about there's probably going to be some sort of companion, and that person will probably get the most voice acting, is whoever your companion is.
The thing is I don't know enough voice actors by name. Like if you said their name
here's
and
the
then
thing.
a voice they did not recognize,
Here's the thing, though.
but-
I'm assuming they're going very celebrity on this, so it's probably doors are probably wide fucking open.
Yeah, what would the companion? Would the companion be male or female?
Well, who knows?
Typically
It's kind of like
female.
anyone's guess at this point. But if you had to listen to someone's voice, be kind of like a guide through the game, who would you want to hear through a whole fucking Zelda game?
I'm gonna be honest, and I know it was a joke earlier, but I actually love H. John Benjamin's voice. Like even if it's a serious thing,
It would be fun because they've done the sort of robotic waifu with Fi, whatever her name is, Fi Fo Dumb. They've done sort of like the spunky, sassy girl with Midna. They've done like.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to just like he can play with his voice to make it.
So
that it's
well,
not
what I'm
just
saying is they've done a lot of
tired alcoholics.
Well, yeah, they've done a lot of like the different variation types of anime women character tropes as your companion. So now looking at it this way, maybe it would be a good time to have a male companion, or male fairy or male whatever it is ends up being, like, because they've had a fairy, a shadow, your fucking sword.
Yeah, I think honestly, because I just actually anything that he's in, his voice is extremely like I don't know how to say this without it being weird, but like pleasurable.
Mm-hmm.
Like how like kind of like Keith David has that voice that every time you hear it, you're just kind of like, oh, that's fucking smooth voice.
Yeah.
H. John Benjamin has that same effect. Even in that weird show that he did that was live action Man in a Van.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah,
like H. John Benjamin. I have a van.
Yeah, you see H. John Benjamin, and you're like, that doesn't fit his voice. His voice is smooth and fucking like crazy sexy kind of. Well, I mean, I don't know if you agree, but he can totally pull off that. And then you just see him, and he's a schlubby dude.
Yeah,
wears a fishing hat. Yeah, but I would dig that. I would dig one of the not the. Oh fuck! You know who'd be really good if they did another like old Link, which I know they're not going to do, but Liam Neeson's voice for like an older fucking.
You just really want Link to talk, don't you?
No, I'm talking about like the older, not fucking the main character. I'm talking about like if you had another undead fucking Link that's like, I'm gonna teach you some shit. Right. Liam Neeson.
Okay.
I don't fucking care if Link talks. I don't really give a shit if the main character talks ever.
Danny DeVito is a Goron.
Danny DeVito. Patrick Stewart as the king. A dude fairy. Sarah Jessica Parker as Epona. No. Laura Bailey as Zelda, huh?
No.
H. John Benjamin doesn't do voices, he just talks and it's wonderful. I agree.
Okay, so but like otherwise than that, like any idea who you would pick for Zelda or Ganondorf? Assuming Ganondorf's in it. Ganondorf may kind of likely won't be in it. Assuming Ganondorf's not in this game.
Zelda, I would probably pick Jessica Chastain would be a good Zelda. Or Kate Blanchett.
Okay.
Be a cool fucking Zelda.
Be a real older Zelda though.
I think Anna Kendrick would do a good job.
Anna Kendrick would be, but she'd be snarky as shit. Like she's snarky all the time. So Anna Kendrick would be a good one. For those of you that don't know, Elise is chilling back here having a beer.
Hello.
But yeah, Anna Kendrick would be a good one. For Ganondorf, I don't know. I do actually really like the idea of Keith David, but like you said, he's kind of prolific now to the point where it'd be like, that would be a big joke. You'd be like, oh, Keith David.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say Idris Elba just to piss you off.
I like Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, yeah, but every time I suggest him, you're always like, you always want Idris Elba for fucking everything. It's like, I do kind of. I think he would do a really good job, especially if you've seen Beast with No Nation. He can play a bad guy that you like so much that you wish he wasn't a fucking bad guy.
I could actually see him being Ganondorf. Not just because he's black.
Not just because he's black.
No, like, I actually could see his voice as Ganondorf. I could actually see that. Like, for real.
Oh, no, I totally could, but fuck, I'm trying to think of, like, if I had to think
I would
of, like,
love to
perfect
be I would love to be the casting director
of
Zelda.
That'd
Zelda
be cool.
game, just to be the casting director, just sit there and decide. And it sucks because I know it's going to be someone like Bill fucking Trin or something, or Nate fucking Bildorf. And it's not. Well, not that they'll do a bad job. It's just kind of like, God, I wish I would be the one who gets to.
No. Marvel's all like, nah. Idris is more for a sage role. You have not seen Beast of No Nation, then. Okay, you want to see him play a bad guy? You watch that movie. You will fucking despise him and love him at the same time.
You can't do anything else the rest of the day, though.
Yeah, set that apart for a day that you're just gonna have to be vegged out like, whoa, because that movie will fuck you up. Christopher Walken is the king.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Kevin Conroy.
Zelda. I wanted you to know that.
Christopher Walken is the guy who trains you with your weapons.
Okay, that's good. The good Link.
Now do an overhead slash.
Do an overhead slash. Very good.
No.
Do you think you might have been playing a little too much Stick of Truth?
Dude, Stick of Truth is actually a really good fucking game.
Well, I know.
Like, it's actually like a good game.
Right,
and then
right.
there's an entire 5-minute part where you're watching your parents bang while you have a battle with gnomes.
Yeah, I know. There's been a couple scenes that had to get edited out for Europe.
It was.
There's definitely there's content missing in the European launch. There's
It just went to cam. Like, I just switched to cam while I played this part.
Yeah.
Because I could not show it. It's hardcore fucking.
Nice.
Like, you see P and the V and everything.
P and the V.
And you have to dodge your dad's nuts at one point in the middle of a fight. You're fighting, all of a sudden, just everybody goes, and like these huge fucking nuts come swinging at the screen. You have to do a quick time event and shit. Adam Sandler's Tingle. Jesus fuck.
I don't think Tingle will be in the game. I hope
ass.
Tingle's not in the game. If Tingle, I don't want to. I just want to see her hear Tingle. Period. But I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited about that.
H. John Benjamin is Tingle. The drunken.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, you want these maps, Link? I made them this morning. Do you ever see H. John Benjamin's role in Venture Brothers, where he played like that guy in Hell, played like a Cerebrus? He was like Orpheus's master.
Oh, I think yeah.
And there's like one point where he's just like a 3-headed dog in some other dimension. He's talking to him. He's like, this is why your wife left you, because you don't know how to relax. Take it, one of my heads is licking my balls right now. You have any idea what that's like? With your own balls in your mouth, and you can feel
fucking H. John Benjamin. Steve Buscemi as Zora.
Okay, so I mean, obviously those are all we've listed off a lot of wacky names for.
Oh, you know who I would have as the king is I just blanked on his name.
Assuming the King's in the game. King's only been in like one fucking Zelda game.
Oh, fuck. You know who I'd have as Ganon? I don't know if you'll agree with Jeremy Irons.
If you look like Ocarina, not if you look like Twilight Princess.
You don't think Jeremy Irons' voice could fill out Twilight Princess?
Doesn't fit Twilight Princess Ganon. No. He fits Ocarina of Time design very well, I would think, but not Twilight Princess as much. Not as much.
King, Alfred and Michael Caine, thank you. That he could do like fucking yeah. He.
Well, the King's been in one.
His favorite word is fuck.
Michael Caine's?
Yeah, Michael Caine's favorite word is fuck.
That's a good word.
Yeah. If you ever find yourself so bored and possibly high that you want to watch Inside the Actors Studio, watch it with Michael Caine, because his whole interview is amazing. And at the very end, like, they're all like, okay, what's, like, someone from the crowd's like, what's your favorite word, Mr. Caine? And he just, like, offhandedly goes, fuck. And, like, everybody else is like, and, they just barely bleep it. Like, they barely catch it.
Yeah.
And you see, like, what's his name? The interviewer is just like, it's such a boring fucking show. But Michael Caine just straight up goes, fuck. And, like, it's like, and then he ends the show he cues the guy to bleep him, and he goes, "Good night, you fucking kids." He like walks out. It's like, I love that man. John Goodman is Simmons.
Yeah, okay.
Michael Ironside.
So
is Sam
that's
Fisher.
pretty. I mean, because we don't really know, because there's going to be a lot of other NPC characters who we don't know anything about them, and they're going to be unique to the game. So really, the only like consistent characters you can say are going to be like Zelda and Ganondorf. Those are the only people you for sure know, and not even Ganondorf.
I think
Zelda.
they could honestly
I think
have a
Zelda
shit
will
ton.
be the only for sure voice in the game, for sure. The rest of them you have to just sort of assume like there's probably going to be a companion, there'll be a villain of some sort. And I don't even think Ganondorf will be in the game, and then there'll be a whole cast of NPCs that we have no knowledge of.
How cool would it be to have a game that's narrated by Ganondorf?
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing, getting into the lore of the game. Like, we pointed out, like, the Link that they've shown in the footage has Gerudo armbands on. So, here's the thing. If it is a playable character, here's the thing. We might have always been looking at the female Link. And maybe that Link is a Gerudo.
Which would be kind of cool.
Which would be kind of cool. And it makes more sense now if there's a female option. Because, hey, you know, maybe you actually play as a Gerudo. Either Gerudo King or just a Gerudo in general. Or maybe if male avatar is a Sheikah, maybe female is a Gerudo.
Man,
maybe
just
both
said Willem
Gerudo.
Dafoe would be a legit ass Ganon. And I kind of agree. Willem Dafoe could do it. Willem Dafoe. There was a firefight!
I would rather Willem Dafoe be a new villain than Ganondorf.
No, I mean, that's fair, but Willem Dafoe has a
I would
very good
love
voice.
Willem Dafoe in the game, but not as Ganondorf.
Have you ever seen the Grand Budapest Hotel?
No.
Oh, fuck, dude. We
Is he
gotta
in
sit
it?
down and watch it. Yes, he's a villain.
Okay.
He's a villain.
I love Willem Dafoe, but
You would love that movie.
yeah, I just don't think
So
I
good.
see him as Ganondorf. So yeah. Okay, moving into the gender thing. Now, some people really have a fucking issue with Link being a gender option in the game.
And these are the same people that are mad about Star Wars female leads. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Some people feel Link's an iconic character, and it's ruining an image of an iconic character to have a female version. Like, and some people are like, it should be, and I think Mike Wesker might feel this way too. He feels like it should either be a male or be a female. Like, doesn't like the idea of it being like an optional thing because it ruins the story.
Well,
And I'm
here's the
like,
thing.
I don't. Well, okay, go ahead.
I can understand that in the sense because it's not that he's upset that it'll be, you know, like one or the other. I think it's more along the lines of when you have one or the other, they can only refer to you in certain ways. They can't you can't get as deep into it necessarily. You know, I mean, I can understand that like uneasiness of being able to choose, but I don't think he dislikes the idea of a female Link. I think he just thinks they should just pick one and go with it. Which I can agree with, honestly. If they just had a female Link and you can't choose between that, it wouldn't bother me at all. I think it would give them more interesting directions to go where they could go specifically geared
But the
towards
story
the
is
female main character.
never, ever done anything that's reliant on gender.
Just because they've never done doesn't
They've
mean
never
they
done it,
can't.
and they're not going to, obviously.
Well, I know,
especially-
but I'm just saying,
especially
it
if they're
doesn't mean
going
they
to all of a sudden throw the choice in, but they're not. And the thing is, here's what I find kind of hilarious. His name is fucking Link. His name is Link because he was supposed to be a link between the player and the character, like the human controller, you know, you and the character on screen. Like, that's why he is fucking called Link.
Yeah, but it
You know
grew
what-
into something else. I mean, it
Kind of.
I mean,
Like,
that's
they've
just-
given him more personality over the years, but it's like, it's never been this fucking thing where, like, you know, oh, it's had this strong, deep romance, and it's like, you could try to argue with Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is a piece of shit and should never be mentioned.
Okay, but wait a second. Just because it never has had any of those elements, you're saying that they couldn't have a good game with a much more in-depth, you know, romance arc?
Sure, but it's not going to, so why...
I understand, but it's not that you're going to say it's not going to. I'm just saying, would it bother you if it did?
It might.
Why?
Because if it shits the game up with more cutscenes, longer, you know, non-interactive playtime, brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah,
and
but
I
that
don't
doesn't-
want a fucking Zelda game that's more movie than game. Like, it's already gotten very, you know, cinematic heavy already. But if it
So
gets...
you're,
like,
in
if
your
if
opinion,
it's-
that would make the game awful.
No, it
if
would just
had
make the
more-
game less replayable.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And I think a Zelda game that you want to indulge in and be lost in the world and have a have a much more pick up and play styling to it would be better. Like, I don't think the game is better served off having fucking enormous layers of cutscenes, you know? Like, and I don't trust... here's the other thing. I don't trust the current Zelda team to write any sort of half-decent, good, overarching, like, romance subplot or whatever arc in the game. It's not going to happen.
Well, I don't think that they need to do that many scenes in order to have an overarching, in-depth story. You know? I think that Zelda's never had... I think Zelda's only maybe had, like, 2 writers, you know, that have been good fucking writers. A Link to... not Link to the Past. Link's Awakening, obviously, had a good writer who liked in-depth shit. And that had a pretty in-depth fucking story. It was just sprinkled around and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you had a writer that was subtle, you could have a fairly in-depth story.
Yeah.
You know, that's just done simply, that doesn't take you out of the game. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't mind the idea of having an in-depth story or an in-depth love arc.
And it's not like you can't do that. The game's been in development for like 5 fucking years.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I
you can have it both ways. Again, like having an in-depth romance, like, is not going to be taken away suddenly because you have a gender choice. Like, you know, you could be lazy about it and just be like, well, the romance option's there always, and it's just, you know, between male Link and whoever girl, or female Link and whoever girl. That's like the super lazy way, because then you're not taking into account for anything. Well, or you could like really pad it out and like be Ass Effect and have like female shepherd, male shepherd, and like.
You really don't like Mass Effect, do you?
1 is very boring.
Really, I liked all of them.
2 is so much better than 1. So much better.
I'd probably agree that 2 is better than 1, but I liked all of them.
1 is like watching paint dry.
Why do we need to have romance in Zelda games? We don't. I'm just saying it wouldn't really bother me if there was suddenly an arc in there that had romance. Because you only need like 2 or 3
See, the thing is, they tried to sort of add more romance into it with Skyward Sword, and it was fucking terrible.
Well, here's how you add romance into an adventure game. At the beginning, you establish that the main character likes whoever is going to be the kidnapped prince or princess. They get taken. Okay. And then it's like, you establish that, oh, I liked that person. At the end, you have them hold each other. Done!
Yeah.
It's not that fucking complex. Like, I'm not saying you gotta write the fucking notebook into the thing. I'm just saying, like, you know, it doesn't bother me the idea that there would be fucking romantic interest in the game. Because they haven't really explicitly showed any romantic interest that I can remember, except maybe in fucking Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
There seems romantic interest. But even then, that's subtle.
Very subtle, yeah.
Like, it could just be a really deep friendship.
I don't buy into this argument that like something's going to be taken away from the game, or things won't be as in depth because there's a gender question, you know, option or whatever, and it's like, like Zelda's never has a Zelda game relied on its gender to tell its story. You know, or could the story story have been drastically altered? Look at every Zelda game.
I don't think.
And then replace Link with a female, and then ask yourself, does that drastically alter the storyline of any of those games in any way? No, it doesn't.
Well, for the most part, I don't think any adventure story is heavily dependent on the gender of a character. You know? So I don't really have a problem with that. And this really does lead nicely into the Star Wars talk. But do you want to transfer there yet, or
Well, go ahead and finish your thought about Zelda.
Well, it's like, I don't think any one Zelda game is particularly dependent on a gender, except for the fact that for how many years was it a primarily male audience? And I think that's the main reason that they kept making it male over and over and over again. I don't think there was anything other. I don't think there was any thought beyond that into the gender.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there was some, like,
I think
but it's
because
gotta be
there's
a
so
male.
many females nowadays, maybe that's what...
Well, especially because adventure games are just, like, everyone can enjoy a good adventure.
Yeah.
You know? And now that there is a wider audience, there are...
And again, Link doesn't even fucking talk.
Too bad you can't romance Ganondorf.
Yeah, right? I mean, like, Link doesn't fucking talk.
And he doesn't need to.
And he doesn't need to, so really, what are we losing here? Nothing. We're just gaining more options. I don't understand where this phobia of options comes from. I think there's you know, well, I won't say what I really think, but I think there's a sort of weird phobia or fear of people who have like a real hardcore fear of change. especially when it's something that's like very ingrained in their life.
Sure, tradition is
and
easy.
then they see something all of a sudden. Now it's no longer this very clear set thing. It's like you're changing someone's schedule. Like someone's had like, it's like when someone has like, they have a routine, and then now you're breaking that routine because now it's no longer the set safe thing you can always return. You can always rely on the Zelda games being this. And now all of a sudden it's like no longer that, and it's changed and it's different, and now there's differences and stuff, and so that kind of throws people off, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean,
and that's the only like real thing I can think of that really would bother someone by it. Because I've read many arguments as to why it's a bad thing, it's ruining an image, why it shouldn't be this way, and all that ever comes off to me is just like, it just seems like you have a personal hang-up with change, not so much that...
Well, there's an interesting thing with the human brain where when you're growing up, you get locked into repetition, so you get endorphins released when something goes exactly as planned. It's one of the reasons why mathematicians love math so much, because, if I follow this formula, boom, 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 I got the right answer, endorphins are released, right? And then you have other kids, and I don't remember which one's the smaller side, honestly, I can't remember, but I think it is the change kids. There are other kids that derive pleasure, like get endorphins from shit getting changed constantly. New stimuli, so that they never know what to expect. Granted, very few people actually enjoy that. Most of the time it just stresses people out. It's one of the reasons why travel is considered so good for you, because you don't really know what to expect, and so it breaks you out of this mold, and it makes you more confident and more able to adapt to new situations. That's the whole point that travel is, especially extended travel. That's like one of the big reasons, like they think all people right after graduating high school should be like shipped off for a couple months to go travel around and then come back when they've figured their shit out. Because it's stressful. Change is stressful to human beings because you don't get that endorphin release. You don't know what's coming, so you can't just be relaxed. There is no relaxed state. So I think can options hurt a story? Yes. But when you're playing an adventure game where story's never been like a huge part of it, story grew into a huge part of it. I know with that game, it grew into a big deal, but like in the beginning, it was never really like a huge deal. It was like, this is the bad guy, this is the princess, save the princess, kill the bad guy. With that, options are always going to be great. If you're trying to tell a ridiculously in-depth story like it's not really that in-depth, but it's an emotional story like Last of Us.
Yeah.
The more options you have, the harder it is to tell a coherent story.
Well, see, Last of Us is dependent because the whole thing is that you're a father who lost his daughter, and like that is the crux of Last of Us' story.
Yeah.
As Joel, you are playing a father who had a family. Family died. He's basically survived, but he survived because he's basically been numbed off and sort of like dead to the world.
And you would agree that the more options you gave that character, the more diluted the story would become.
Right.
And the emotional story.
Right.
But in a game like Zelda, you're not gonna dilute the story by more options because the story is this like very spread out chain.
I mean, for fuck's sake, Zelda is the game that started the open world. Not started, you could argue other games started, but Zelda is the game, one of the earliest, biggest, certainly one of the earliest big success stories of open world game design.
Yeah.
That is the whole fucking appeal of Zelda, was that it was open-ended. It had choice. You could choose where you wanted to go in the world. There was no set path.
Yeah.
Like Zelda 1 is go to most any dungeon you want at the start. Just wander around.
And you can kind of get
fucking wander around, and there's nothing telling you where to go. There is no linear path. And that's why people love Dank Souls so much, which, of course has male-female options.
Which you said Dank Souls isn't actually open world.
No, Dank Souls is... Well, yes, it is. For the most, pretty much. You wander around places, but Dank Souls has this thing where, like, the sections of the world are locked off, and you have to like go around before you can open doors and elevators, and that kind of opens up the world more. So the world is segmented a bit in Dank Souls, where you can't just run everywhere immediately. Like you have to actually go around some places to basically unlock shortcuts. You unlock shortcuts more to the point. In Dank Souls. And there's other things. There's sections of the game where it's like you have to learn something or present an item, and which Zelda went heavy into that. Zelda, like, pretty much from Link to
You
the
had
Past
to go
on,
get an item to come back.
Zelda became like this series of doors and keys. And the keys to the items and the doors are basically just, I can't reach this until I have the hook shot.
Room, hallway, puzzle, room. Type deal.
Well, stuff like that. And like, oh, you can't get to this part of the game world unless you have the hook shot. So it's like it's a door and the key is the hook shot. So Zelda got really heavy in that, pretty much starting from Link to the Past on. Where Dank Souls is like if Zelda went the other way and just focused or was more based on Zelda 1. And they just took that
Less about puzzles.
ideal. Yeah, much less about puzzles and more just about
Well,
wandering.
that's a question. Would you play a Zelda that's in the Dank Souls style?
I would play it. I would hope it's more polished than Dank Souls.
Dank Souls definitely has muddy controls.
Yeah.
Like, that pisses me off to no end. Actually, someone today online was just kind of like, hey, what do you think, like, Uncharted 4 is going to be like? And I was like, it's going to have muddy controls and it's going to be really interesting story-wise. He was just like, yeah, but I mean, do you think it's going to be realistic? No, it's going to have muddy controls. Dank Souls
And as far as realism goes, like, no, it ain't gonna be realistic. It's gonna be Uncharted. You're gonna kill 1 million fucking people and take, 100 million gunshot wounds that'll heal instantly after you crouch down for a bit.
Yes.
So it's like, no, it's not gonna be realistic.
I am Superman. What's up, Sir Dan?
So, yeah.
Since doesn't Zelda timeline have alternate universes?
Well, there's 3 timelines. There's timeline A, B, and C. We have no idea where this next Zelda will be. My guess is in B because B is the least explored timeline, and the timelines seem pretty well established in A and C. B is the only one in particular that's weird. I mean, the last game in that one is Four Swords Adventures, and honestly, fuck that game. It doesn't... Who fucking cares? That game's... Throw it... It's a piece of garbage. It's not a piece of garbage game. It's just it's a game that requires way too much fucking setup to even play it properly. And even when you do play it properly, it's not some like unbelievable hidden gem that's like Link to the Past quality. It's not. It's just it's a fun little 4-player hack and slash Zelda game. It's light on content. It doesn't. I mean, it's funny because I'm actually one of the few people I know of who's played the English version of Tetris Trackers, which was the first Zelda game by Nintendo to have voice acting. I heard Tetra's English voice actor. I heard the rest of the Pirate Crew's English voice actors. And they just fucking cut that out of the American release for some fucking reason. It just never fucking happened. I don't know why.
Weird.
So I've heard official English voice acting in a Nintendo published Zelda game. And it was fine. It actually worked really well because Wind Waker... I hate Wind Waker's art style, but you can't sit there and tell me that it doesn't scream for voice acting.
Yeah, no, I was actually surprised Wind Waker didn't have voice acting.
It was a game that just seemed like...
Because that was something they were all like, oh, it's so animated. That's why we went with this art style. I was like, then why the fuck don't you have voice acting?
Yeah. So, yeah, they've done it before. Never released it.
Have either of you played Lost Odyssey for the 360? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I would like to play it. I heard it's really good, but
I haven't played it.
But all that being said, I think Zelda will be in Timeline B because I think it's going to be after Twilight Princess, or maybe even before, but probably after. Four Swords will be completely ignored because who fucking cares? Like really, who fucking cares?
Well, which timeline is Hyrule Warriors in?
None. It's non-canon. I believe I've told you this before.
I know. I was just alright. Alright.
But fuck Hyrule Warriors for putting Marin in the game. Fuck. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I think I saw you tweet a picture, or someone tweeted a picture to you, and they were kind of like, oh, now you gotta play it! And you're like, I don't want to buy this, but now I have to buy this.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not gonna do it.
How much does it cost?
It's still $60 fucking.
When it goes to $30, I'll buy it, and we can play it on your Wii U.
I'm like, I was like, I'm waiting for it to be 20. Why is it not 20?
I don't know.
It's Wii U! God damn it. Fuck.